Hello everybody and welcome to part 2 of our Jeep Wagoneer S review. This time around, as you can see, we're sitting in here and we are about to drive this Jeep Wagoneer. This of course is an all-electric Jeep, so there's a lot to talk about when it comes to the drive experience, so we want to go ahead and get into it. Now, in this test drive, we will be discussing quite a lot, as you can see on the screen right now. We'll even be getting things like our sound level reading, but first we do want to start with a hard acceleration to show you just how fast this new Wagoneer S is. Whew. Wow.
Yeah, they said it was going to be fast. It is fast. So, let's talk a little bit about what makes it fast. So, as we kind of discussed with some of the specifications in part 1, you're looking at a 100.5 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery pack. That's going to be paired with a dual motor 4-wheel drive system. All that together gives you 600 horsepower and 617 pound-feet of torque, which is some serious power. Of course, you don't need me to tell you, really, that 600 horsepower.
Saw it. Yeah.
That's a lot of power.
You saw it in action there. It's definitely enough to get the tires chirping, that's for sure. Jeep says 0 to 60 happens in this Wagoneer S in 3.4 seconds. This is a seriously quick Jeep. They also pointed out that is actually faster than the Trackhawk that they used to make. So certainly a very fast performance, and I can't wait to take off from this red light again so we can give another example of that. Whew.
Dang.
That is really fast.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of fast EVs, right? But, dang, it really does hustle. And also, I mean, I think, like, part of the sensation of just how fast you're going is the fact that the front kind of lifts up, and it really gives you that, like, G-force feel, you know?
And it's an SUV. An SUV with a 3.4 second 0 to 60 is really, really quite fast. Now, like Drew said, we have a 100.5 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery pack on every single Wagoneer S. This model, really just for the time being, is pretty much what you see is what you get, because they are just doing the launch edition model here from the start. So if you didn't watch our part 1 of this review, that's pretty much how this vehicle is set up. They're all set up exactly the same. It's a dual motor electric all-wheel drive system here, and that does, of course, create your all-wheel drive, as Drew was pointing out earlier.
Even if you just go partial throttle, it's fast.
Now, it's also going to be on a 400-volt architecture for this electric vehicle. And, I just want to take a second here and discuss overall ride quality. I think that's a really important part about this Wagoneer S, because Jeep is definitely targeting a luxury demographic with this model. You can just feel that inside the cabin. It's very luxurious, and if you haven't already seen part 1, I would recommend going to see that so you can see all the features and luxury that you're going to get. But they're definitely targeting a luxury clientele. And when it comes to your ride quality, I have to say I'm pretty impressed. Now, we've just been kind of cruising along this morning on the media drive, and when you hit a bump in the road, it does a good job of soaking things up. Even though we do have pretty large wheels on the outside, I also really like these seats. I find them to be very soft and supportive, and I'm even getting a massage right now. So overall, I'd say the ride is quite good. It's probably not like the best mid-size, luxury SUV that you can get. It depends on what you might be cross-shopping this with, but I would say it's a very solid ride quality.
Alright, so I toggled into the sport mode so we could talk a little bit about the dynamics. Obviously, this isn't like the most twisty road ever, but it does have little curves here that we can throw around. Yeah, so overall, in terms of how this is structured, even though this is a very fast vehicle, it's really apparent when you're behind the wheel that it is definitely Wagoneer luxury focused. They're trying to give you kind of a feeling like you're in that big old giant 3-row one, even though you're in the smaller, sleeker 2-row. And because of that, like Mason was saying, it rides very comfortably. It does have body roll when you go around corners, for sure. As I already discussed, when you accelerate hard, you kind of lift up in the front, brake down in the back. And then also, the other thing, as someone kind of stops in the lane here, the other thing, of course, is the steering. It's very lightweight. Even when I put it in a sport mode, they did try to firm it up just a little bit, but it's still really lightweight. Doesn't have a lot of feel or anything like that.
All right, and let's get into the charging for this Wagoneer S. That's, of course, important for an electric vehicle. I already mentioned it's on a 400-volt architecture. That means DC fast charging. You go from 5 to 80% in about 28 minutes. Level 2 charging, which is what most of you all will be doing in your garage, 5 to 80% in 6.8 hours, so it can easily do that overnight. And then level 1, of course, that's, not what most people would be doing, but from 5 to 80%, they say 52 hours. So that is a significant amount of time if you're going to use that level 1 setup. But overall, decently fast charging on this Wagoneer S. And let's get into our slam dunk and air ball.
Hands in the air.
And now let's get into our slam dunk and air ball, which is our favorite and least favorite element. Drew, why don't you kick us off with the slam dunk?
The slam dunk is going to be the interior. Now, first of all, it is very nicely finished. A lot of luxury inside of here, but not even so much that. It's the fact that it's very conventional feeling as well. A lot of brands just feel so inclined that when you make an EV product, they're like, oh, no buttons, everything needs to be complicated, blah, blah. Jeep went the total opposite way. You still have all the buttons and stuff you recognize from other Jeep products. You have a volume knob, a nice steering wheel with physical buttons. Climate is easy to use. So it's all pretty recognizable if you're coming from something like a Grand Cherokee.
Yeah. On the airball side of things, what we are going to say is just the price. Yes, I understand it is only available in the highest end version, the launch edition, but at around $72,000, that is a pretty expensive price point. So just keep that in mind. It's not going to be like a super cheap EV that you can use. It is pretty solidly in the luxury territory when it comes to pricing. All right, guys, we are on the freeway, and we are going to get our sound level reading. Unfortunately, there are no good quiet roads to get 55, so we're just going to do it here. We'll go ahead and make sure fan speed's on 1. 57.7 decibels is what we are sitting at as our sound level reading. We don't sit here and guess how it compares to other electric vehicles. We can find that at carconfections.com/sound level readings. And indeed, that's not too bad of a sound level reading, that's for sure, especially for being here on the freeway in California. We do look forward to testing one of these back home in Kentucky where we can get our official sound level reading. And guys, that's going to be where we leave off on this part 2 of the Jeep Wagoneer S review. If you enjoyed watching, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, you're going to get the latest car reviews such as this, and you're also going to be a part of our Car Confections family. Also, I want to point out, if you're looking to buy a Jeep Wagoneer S or any new vehicle, be sure to go to carconfections.com/new car quotes. The reason you do that is because we have a tool on our website that will connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation. If you'd like to take advantage of that, a link is provided in our video description, and we also have a pinned comment at the top of this video. Once more, I do want to remind you to go ahead and check out part 1 if you want to learn more about this Wagoneer S, all the luxury, as well as the exterior and interior walkarounds. You can find that already live on our channel. We'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.